Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are back in the world of Kingdom. We're going to be checking out today the special episode slash movie, whatever it's called, for Kingdom Ashin of the North. It's only fitting that this is actually my first movie reaction, considering that Kingdom was actually the series that started this channel actually. So um, we're coming full circle, guys. But yeah, we're very, very, very excited to get back into this. We fans have been waiting on season two, and I guess that, this is sort of a something to hold us over until we actually do get season three. Yeah. Um, but understandable, with the pandemic and everything that is happening. So it's quite understandable why there have been delays with season three actually coming out. There have been some talks about spin-off prequels for this, which I'll get into towards the end. I was going to create a separate video, but I figured we could just discuss that at the end of this as well. So there's going to be so much to get into. As for this film special episode, I'm not sure what to call it. As I mentioned in the trailer that I checked out earlier, that we were introduced to the character at the end of season two, and this appears to be something of a backstory for that character. Whether she'll be friend or foe to Prince Chang remains unclear, which is good. At the end of season two, it appeared as though she was being propped up to be something of a villain. When they were in search of the source of the actual plant, and they came across I think this farmer and his son, and he said he bought the plant from this woman. So it appeared to have been intentional that she had the plant itself sold in that region. And judging from the trailer, it could be that this is some sort of revenge plot, possibly involving Jo Hakjo and An-hyun. Perhaps we saw in the trailer that her village was actually attacked, and she was trying to get revenge, and no matter how long it took, 10 years, whatever, 20 years, whatever it may take. And I do wonder whether that they're finding the plant, COB finding that location in season two where it was clear that some tests were being conducted. I do wonder whether that was her doing, testing the effects of the plant before, having it spread throughout the region. And, knowing that there are men who are there, who are in power, who want to take advantage of this, not knowing how terribly this could actually go, that she planted that seed, and they took the baits, and it ended up almost ruining the kingdom. So I do wonder whether she is in fact going to be a villain for Prince Chang. We've already lost Mu Young. Lost Mu Young, unfortunately. So it'll be an interesting third season. So I'm quite curious to see and learn more about this new character and what she will bring to the Kingdom universe. So let's check it out. Yes, it makes sense. And if I remember correctly, I think they were saying, oh, maybe not. I thought it said back in like season one that the plant only grows in very cold environments. It's eating it. Does change very fast. Is this someone's test? Something, or maybe some people will eat a deer. That's how the outbreak started in season one. They ate someone, a human, but someone may actually think this is a deer fit to be eaten. Oh, it's actually a tiger. Oh, that's something you don't see often. Deer charging the tiger. Of course. Someone's making a log of all these infections that are happening. This plant brings the dead back to life, but you must pay the price. Should probably put a bit more warning there. What price? You know? Yes, add some fine print, you know, like what they do in those drug commercials, you know. The plant may also result in death, mayhem, and destruction, and so on. So people have known about it for quite some time. And they've kind of quarantined off that entire area, and no one is allowed to enter there.
모두 같은 문신이 있습니다. 파저위 여진족들이.
보지도 말거라. 짐승의 피와 내장은 천한 것이다.
Yeah, that's how it is in most places, I suppose. Even today, really. The wealthy gets the best parts of the meat, and wow,
더러운 손 치우거라.
he was just helping Jesus.
가자.
Wow. More meat for me. Hey.
어이! 고기 먹자.
Where have you been?
어허, 너 이게 무슨 짓이야? 얼른 그거 못 내놔.
She's about to get her ass beat.
회사군 가지 말라고 몇 번을 그랬어.
거기 위험하다는 거 다 거짓말이라면서요. 거기서 나는 산삼들 저 위에 높으신 분들 꿀꺽하려고 일부러 숨어낸 거라고 아버지가.
Men, people, humans, so true.
회사군의 산삼은 죽은 사람도 살리는 영약이라는데.
네가 10만이도 아니고.
Don't do it, kid. And I guess the soldiers from before, they said they were going to the boundary village, so I guess this is where they're heading. Yep, they're here. Thought they think the villagers had something to do with the bodies. Please don't be a giant dick like the son in the Chohajo's son in season 1.
파저의 여진족 15명이 몰살당했다.
파저위 여진족 확실합니까?
호랑이다. 네가 강을 건너 다녀와야겠다. 호안의 파저의 여진족들이 모두 죽었다고 소문을 내거라.
Well, why does he need him to do that?
언제면 저희 번호불하게
The village
너의
is
충신을 모르는
unrecognized.
바 아니다. 조급히 생각지 말고 자리를 지키며
Yeah. In other words, never. I'm not sure if they've shown a date so far. I was trying to figure out how long before, before season 2, season 1, this actually is. Is he related to Byung Pal,
파저의 여진족
very
15명이
lazy magistrate from last season?
것이냐.
I would not be surprised given his demeanor here.
여진족들은 어려서부터 무사로 길러진 사내들입니다. 그런 사내들 한꺼번에 15명을 처치한다는 건 거의 불가능한 일이죠. 철도사 영감과 친위 부대라면
To start a war with the Jurchen? Why would he want that?
남들이 눈치채기 전에 입양이나 고쳤으시죠.
감히 해원주씨 가문의 산삼을 탐하였다. 죽어야 마땅한 놈들이지.
Return to the Cho clan.
내리셨어야죠.
I knew there had to be some connection to the Cho clan.
내 잠시 이런 촌구석에 처박혀 있다고. 나 우리 가문을 모욕하는 것이냐?
전란 때 백성들을 버리고 도망간 자로 이 촌구석에 처박히셨습니다. 백성들이 불안해하고 있으니 전 민심을 다스리러 호랑이 사냥을 시작할 것입니다. 영감은 여기서 아무것도 하지
Yeah, I get that her dad is trying
마시고
to gain legitimacy for the village, but I mean, you must realize at this point that that's never going
나
to
없는
happen.
동안 가족들 잘 부탁한다. 자, 그럼.
And that was the last time we saw him.
그냥 강 건너 우리 핏줄한테 돌아가요. 힘들게 잡은 모피도 다 뺏기고 위험한 밀정 노릇까지 해주면서 언제까지 무시당하면서 살 건데요.
강 건너 헐벗은 벌판에서 배고픔과 약탈에 떨던 우리에게 조선의 왕이 내어준 땅이었지.
Alright, so things are starting to come together now. It you know, given where the Hamon Cho clan is, their position now, essentially, you know, they fled during the war and didn't participate, so they were kind of, you know, kind of banned. But where we meet them in season 1, you know, they're advisors to the king himself. So what changed, or what could have changed that drastically to make them, you know, to elevate their position in such a short space of time?
내가 올 때까지 엄마 곁을 지켜. 누이, 빨리 와.
바로 다싸. 미안가 아니야. 반지 다싸. 따로 가이. 얄만이 꽐라 믿어라.
Blaming all these deaths on the poor tiger. I mean, he's probably had his fair share of killings, but
컴퓨터로 다싸도 와카도로.
so they sent him to mislead the people.
헐룩이 순치
Oh,
시와 안비
he's one of the Jurchen. Yeah, man. Why? I mean, don't do it. What price? Put some context. All right, so I'm thinking this soldier isn't necessarily a bad person per se. He's trying to prevent a war from happening. But I get the impression the Hamon Cho clan is gonna pull some BS and that's how the war starts. And then they somehow win favor with the king. I mean, there is an actual tiger out here, but not what they're expecting.
이번엔 아닙니다.
mean, you heard the stories and you still came, so I don't know what to say right now. Oh, one down. He's gonna hit a tree, isn't he? Oh, never mind. Ouch. Swords out, guys. What are you waiting for?
몰입꾼들을 물려라. 이제 우리가 맞는다.
As if they needed to tell me. Is he taking off all his clothes? Oh, those are the jerkin that were undercover.
파주이다. 막아라.
Stop them, why? Two. Yeah, got 2 stabs in. Not gonna be enough though. Ah. Just throw it. Why are they fighting each other? Why are they fighting each other? There's a dangerous animal out here, or a thing. Alright, let's see what you can do. Oh, that arm's gone. Did you get it? Okay. This is a convenient excuse because I don't think the tiger killed the 15 jerkins that they found initially. And your arm is infected.
어찌 이런 일이?
Arms.
기이한 일은 따로 있다. 분명 호환으로 우리 형제들이 죽었다는데 그렇다면 우리 형제들의 살과 뼈는 도대체 어디 있단 말인가?
그들의 죽음을 우리가 책임질 이유가 없다.
조선 땅에서 우리 형제들이 죽었다.
I mean, they were killed. They weren't eaten. I guess they hid the bodies, so they should have just left the bodies there to ease suspicion. Well, we know she doesn't save her mom, so I don't think that's who it is. I think the jerkin are here to burn the place down. Yep. Why didn't they just attack the soldiers instead of the helpless villagers? I know he lied for them, but who is this one? So it's not worth it. Where's her dad in all of this? I don't think I saw him during the hunt, unless I missed it. Sorry, kid, they're all gone.
내가 직접 강을 건너 다녀온 것이냐?
이유를 모르겠습니다.
This actress is doing a fantastic job, though, gotta say.
혜정이가 왜 우리에게 이리 했는지.
And you're going to lie to her.
복수를 해주십시오.
He's not going to, because they don't want to start a war with the Jurchen, so that's why he had him lie for him.
조선은 강한 나라이니.
You had no problem intervening before and having him lie for you. I guess he'd rather some poor village to blame for the death of the 15 Jurchen than holding the Ham and Chu clan
그
responsible.
정도는 해주실 수 있지 않으십니까?
In which case, her anger is pointed in the wrong direction. At least at the moment.
밀정을 하라면 밀정이 되고 도축을 하라면 도축을 하겠습니다. 그보다 더 험한 일도 더 천한 일도 하겠습니다.
So what point does she find out?
복수를 해주십시오.
이 아이를 거두거라.
I want to say that's noble of him, but I know he's the cause of her pain at the moment. So yeah. He's likely only doing this to gain something. That's the animals. Lovely. I think you kind of owed her father a bit more than that. Warmer to sleep under there. Did her father, I would have imagined he would have taught her how to hunt, because he was a hunter himself. That's terrible though. The fact that they couldn't do the bare minimum and just take down the bodies and bury them, and she had to do it herself. Ah, good. Oh, let's transition. Oh, she has been patient. I'll give her that. That is what her dad told her. And she finally listened. Frankly, it's probably in better company than these soldiers. Wait, what? Really? What are you doing? God.
조선군을 죽이고도 여기서 살아남을 수 있을 것 같아?
No, but you'll be dead. I'll be fine.
이제
Now get out.
못 들어가겠네.
She has bruises. Why? What just happened?
수고했다.
So she's just been feeding them information about the church in his camp. Yeah, he's just using her much like they were using her father, and she's not come to that realization yet, unfortunately. I guess for her it's fine so long as she gets her revenge. And she shows up there and maybe they're having tea. What the hell? Who the hell is that? That's not her dad, is it? I was under the impression he was dead. She said she heard that they executed a traitor. Have they been keeping him alive all this time? Just barely. Man. I mean, I want to say, I was wondering why she didn't try to get information about him sooner, but she was a kid before. There's no way she should have been able to pull him out of there to save him. May not even be able to do it now. Damn, they cut off his limbs. Oh. Can he see her, or did they blind him? So, sadly, that's probably the best thing that you can do for him now. Did she manage to save him? So eventually she had to do it. Okay, now she figures it out.
아시나? 파저위의 여진족들이 폐사군의 삶을 노려 잠입하였다가 암습을 받아 몰살당하였습니다.
By the Hawon Cho clan. They were the ones that wiped out the village? Wow, wow.
멈추거라! 형제들이 죽임을 당한 곳에 이것이 있었다.
Ah, you liar. Set her dad up.
이유를 알고 싶어서 날 찾아온 것이냐?
복수를 해주십시오.
All to protect the Hawon Cho clan. Well, to prevent a war, but you know. So this all makes a lot more sense now. Her wanting vengeance on the Joseon soldiers and the Cho clan by extension. Although I'm not sure she found anything about the Cho clan in that they were the ones who were actually responsible for killing the Paiwan Jurchens. Is this the same guy? Was he not just told not to do this again? Oh, yeah, you're not escaping death this time. Yeah. He had that coming. He had that coming. He had so many warnings. Yep.
그러게.
Don't worry, he's just drunk. Go closer. Come on. Legs all screwed up. Come on. What I am wondering though, one of the soldiers from the Pawan Jurchin clan, they were bitten by the tiger, but we haven't heard anything about an outbreak within that camp. Yeah, we won't be having a very long nap. She turned several of them. Let's kill them while they slept and turn them. You're still here? It's time for you to get what's coming to you. I don't want him to be taken by a zombie. He needs he needs something far worse to happen to him, or she needs to be the one to kill him. Damn it. Well, good. You know, that's good. We need a much more gruesome death. Yeah, you're gone. A good old feeding mound. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna be the last one to go. Nope. You aren't going anywhere. Remember me? Don't have that puzzled look on your face as though why. You know why. Yeah, thank you. I did not want him to turn into a zombie. He needs to know why he's dying. I'm just a bit pissed that the Cho clan got away unscathed from all of this. They get what's coming to them eventually. Luckily. Pick off the rest. She didn't get her revenge on the Paiwan Jurchin, although they were only a part of it. Who's that hiding? Oh, she's good. Years of practice. They're all locked in here. What happens now? Does she kill them all? Or does she let them loose? Someone's alive?
Ashin.
Wait, who's this one? Ah, the one that was calling her wench. Blood is gonna draw them to him. Nope, got his leg. He's gonna eat him. Yep, he's done. Alright, so she's just gonna burn them all. She has learned to use them effectively. It's gonna be a problem for Prince Chang.
다녀왔습니다.
There are people back at the village? Or is she imagining things? Because everyone is dead, right? He has to be hallucinating. This is sad.
아무것도 안 드셨네. 그럼 안 된다니까.
Oh, she brought the villagers back. Didn't bury them. Just kept them as pets. Or not what she's seen. She's seeing them as they were, not as they are. But she's gone mad. Oh, he's still alive. Okay. So I guess at the end of season 2, where Prince Chang arrives, you know, that village that they stumble upon, I guess this is where it is. She's got her family.
조선 땅과 여진 땅에 살아있는 모든 걸 죽여버리면 나도 당신들 곁으로 갈 거야.
Alright, I suspect we're going to be seeing some familiar faces now.
이 불이
Ah, the physician.
죽은 자를 살린단 말이냐?
맞습니다.
That's where he got it from. Then he gives the information to Cho Hak Chu, and they use it to help them win the war. Are these the Pawan Jurchin, or what's left of them? Alright, guess we're doing this. All right, that was brilliant. That was a fantastic special. I don't know what to call it, guys. But that was brilliant. This gave us so much information into this new character. Ashin is her name, as the title denotes. But this certainly expands the world of Kingdom quite a bit. I mentioned earlier in the video that there have been talks about spin-offs, spin-off prequels in the works, and I'm always a bit concerned about those things because The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and whatever other spin-off they've made so far. It's just it can, if it's done well, it can, if it's done right, it can be well written. But historically, those spin-off series rarely ever do as well. There are a few examples, Better Call Saul spin-off of Breaking Bad, but then there are some bad examples like Walking Dead that I mentioned before that just doesn't hold up in terms of the same quality as the original. And I guess it's a matter of whether it requires an actual spin-off. I think for Better Call Saul as a character, I thought that made sense. But given where we are with Kingdom now, we're only in the second season. I'm not sure if it warrants a spin-off, but at the same time, I did enjoy Ashin of the North so much. But again, because it actually flows from the last season. The last season introduced Ashin, and we're getting to see Ashin's history here. So if the series demands it, then I think that can actually be pretty good. But if it's just been done for the sake of, okay, this is a very popular property right now, so let's just do a spin-off just because, like Game of Thrones, yeah, then it may just turn out to be quite terrible. But I enjoyed the Ashen of the North thoroughly. It does bring up a lot of questions about a lot of unanswered questions, or it gives you some framework for those those questions that were raised in season 1 and season 2. Where did the plant originate from? I do wonder why this was not just made into this wasn't made into season 3. This could have been the first 2 to 3 episodes in season 3, and I know Kingdom is notoriously short. It's usually about 6 episodes per season. So I do wonder why they didn't just use the first 3 episodes to explore Ashin and then go into the conflict between her and Prince Chang. But that I don't mind. It may be a case where they anticipated some delays with season 3, so this may not, but perhaps not, because I recall, shortly after season 2 coming out, that they did announce Ashin of the North. So I guess they just wanted to have a spin-off, kind of explaining her origins and how she would tie into the season to come. So no complaints here, given that we don't have season 3 at the moment. So I'm very much grateful for this. But we meet Ashin, and there appears to be a particular clan, the Jurchens, who are split into 2 factions. The Pawan Jurchens, who consider themselves, I suppose, to be loyalists, to their old ways and the ways of their clan, versus the Ashin's family, who appears to have pledged loyalty to the crown, and to the Joseon Imperials. And I guess for her father, I mean, he wanted legitimacy, he wanted to be recognized, to provide for his family. There's no argument to be, there's no arguing against his motives there. But in the same breath, to go to his people and to lie to them and say, his people are being killed by something that they are obviously not, and there's a lot of conflicting interests there, and that's what made the episode, or this movie so great, because you do understand where he was coming from in wanting to care for his family. You do understand where Ashin is coming from in wanting her vengeance. And I do have, my only small nitpick with the direction they're taking Ashin in particular is that they're making her out to be to have driven mad, literally driven mad, to the point where she still sees her family in these monsters where they're not. I thought she was going to be something of a bit more meticulous villain, where she's fully aware that these are monsters and she's just using them as tools to get her vengeance. Although, when I think about it, that may have just been a bit too cliche, just a typical, okay, I want vengeance thing. Which she still does want vengeance, but it adds another layer, to her character, where, she's not seeing this despair. She's just trapped in time at a point where, her life made sense, and these people that she knew and loved were still there, and she still sees them very much present. And for her, she still sees them in these monsters, and that's the theme that we've seen a few times. It's come up in Walking Dead and some in other zombie related properties. So she still believes that they're the people they were before turning, and I guess she's out for revenge, and then she'll come back to her village and take care of them by feeding them humans. Um, I was wondering at the very beginning whether the Byung Il that we met in halfway through or earlier in the episode, he's a member of the Hanwon Cho clan, but I thought initially that it was Cho Hak Chu, but it's not. I get confused with the names sometimes, so do please forgive me if I mix them up. Um, but I it appears that he's not. I'm curious. I was just curious to see. I thought we would have seen this in this film, whether how the Haiwan Cho clan was able to improve their status, um, or is it this is just a particular branch of the Cho clan that was just discarded, and Cho Hak Ju was another branch of the family that ended up becoming an advisor to the king. Because his name is Byom Il, and but at this point in time, they're saying he is the head of the Cho clan. And we do meet Byom Pal later on in the episode, who they do claim is a member of the Cho clan as well, but sort of on the lower branch of the family. So I wonder whether that is the case, or is it that Byom Il managed to raise his status to the point where Cho Hak Jo managed to get to that point. But I'm assuming it's the former. I'm going to assume that it's the former because I don't think that much time has passed. So very likely Cho Hak Jo is already within the ranks, within the king's ranks, right, as a rising star, and eventually he gets to a notable position where he can influence and move things around. But I thought we were going to meet some familiar faces at the very end. We didn't. We only saw the physician that we later meet in season 1. And in season 2, we find out that he's the one that provided Cho Hak Chu with the plant. And we see here at the end, to tie it all together, that he got that plant from this young woman who told him that it could bring back the dead, and that helped them win the war with the Japanese. So we are seeing where things are tying in. What I'm curious to know now, though, is what is driving Ashin at this point. She's gotten her vengeance on the Joseon military who plotted to have her family killed. She got a vengeance on the Paimon Jurchins, and the leader at the end actually was wondering about that, because when she killed her father in the at their camp, she was walking away from the camp and there was a fire. I thought perhaps she initially I thought she didn't get her vengeance, and then I thought, okay, maybe she killed them and that's what the fire was, but I went back and checked and there were people running around when the fire started, so I figured she just killed her dad. She didn't want it to look suspicious, so she started a fire. And then she got her vengeance here at the end because she just needed to kill the leader since he kind of gave the order. So I'm assuming that she does get her vengeance there. But what is driving her now to, or perhaps she's not, her introduction to the physician here, I mean, that was some time ago. That was when they were still at war with the Japanese. So some time has passed, is that she's still just on a war path to just kill everyone on Joseon land, or does she have some other motive in mind? Because between this point in time now and when we meet Prince Chang, I think it's about 10-15 years later. I would imagine it's at least that much. So what exactly would her objective be now? Is it to just destroy the kingdom altogether? In which case, they would be propping her up to be this this chaotic, insane individual who just wants to kill everyone and everything in her path. I'd be on board with that as well. Clearly, as I mentioned before, she's definitely not going to be an ally to Prince Chang. She's certainly going to be an enemy. He's trying to save the kingdom and she appears to want to destroy it. I guess it will come down to, differences in ideology, because for him, he acknowledged in the very first of season 1 and season 2 that there was corruption. When we look at the social divide and how the people in the villages throughout season 1 and season 2 were living in poverty, from Young Sin's village, where it got so bad to the point where people were actually eating people, and that's how the outbreak in season 1 started in the first place. Because to him it was like, okay, we're starving, and there's not we have all these bodies around, so why not eat? So Prince Chang does understand that that was happening under his father's watch, under his watch, but now I believe he thinks he's now changed that. I don't know to what extent, given the young prince that he left. He's really only ruling in name because he's too young, and I think a lot of the advisors, I think Prince Chang trusted those advisors to do the right thing. I don't know if they're doing the right thing for the people. But in his eyes, he's left behind a better kingdom than what was there before. And in her eyes, that's just not the case. Or I don't believe she can be reasoned with at this point in time. I don't think she can be reasoned with at this stage. So what then? They're definitely going to clash. I'm surprised that they actually met that soon. Although I imagine in season 3 they will not fight, immediately. But they did find her, I think. If I remember correctly, at the cliffhanger, they walked into the cabinet and there was one of the zombies shackled. She turned around, but I don't think she was in the same room. She may have just heard the noise and turned around, or did they see her? I may be mistaken there, and they did see her, but I don't think they're going to fight initially. I think Prince Chang is going to have to learn about her history and how she came to be and why she's doing all these things. I don't think they'll need to retread everything that has happened here, but he'll probably learn about it through other individuals, much like how he actually found her to begin with. Because she does appear to be selling the plant to other persons. I think how they found her was this farmer and his son who purchased it from her, and they were selling it as some sort of medicine of some sort. So she is trying to get the plant to as many people as possible, knowing what the effects of it actually will be. I do wonder whether she actually knows as much about it as COB, in that it's not actually the plant, but it's actually the worms on the plant. So that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see for those two to actually meet. But she is, at the end of the day, she is a hunter. And at present, at where we left them, they were in her territory, which I don't think bodes well for them at all. For season 1 and season 2, where they have found some successes, where they're able to organize and lead the monsters in a certain direction, so that they can kill them off quite easily. But in the open, she's in her element. Although, she doesn't have any control over these monsters, really. She's just very good at navigating them in the path that she actually needs them to get to. From what we've seen here, it's been a few years, so she may have gotten quite adept at doing it. That is a possibility. I'm just excited to see, how she uses them in battle and how Prince Chang is able to counter that. When we last saw him, he didn't have Young Sin with him, unfortunately. And I found myself wondering whether there was some connection with Young Sin and Ashin as well, because I remember his backstory. He returned after a mission to find his village completely destroyed. I don't think he was given any good reasoning for it, or whether the same thing that happened to Ashin actually happened to him, and they just used his village as a scapegoat. And I think he realized that at a certain point. But I do wonder whether there's some relation between his clan and hers. And he is a hunter as well. If I remember correctly, he's supposed to be a tiger hunter, which kind of gives me some similarity, some connection between his clan and hers. But it would be good to see him, in the woods battling her as well. It's gonna be wild, guys. It's gonna be a fantastic season. I can see it. I do wonder whether she's good at hand-to-hand combat. Her dad was a hunter, so I believe he probably taught her how to use the bow and arrow, and we've seen her practice with it to get even more proficient with it. But I'm not sure if she's good at hand-to-hand combat and so on. But I think that is Young Sin's strong suit. He's good with a rifle, but I think he's great at hand-to-hand combat. Prince Chang is kind of kind of okay there as well. COBs, their medical aid and scientists to help them figure out this mess, to find a cure. I would hope. So that is the purpose of their journey, and hopefully, I guess we'll see whether they'll actually be able to find some resolution to it. Whoever it is that left, because someone knew about this this plant enough to actually leave instructions to show, okay, this is what happens. And that's how she figured it out, because she saw the carvings on the wall. So this was known for quite some time. It was known for quite some time. So I wonder how far back this actually goes. And maybe that's what some of these spin-off series will actually explore, how the plant came to be, or, you know, that area that was quarantined, you know, how that actually happened and why it actually happened. So I'm of two minds where the spin-offs and prequels are concerned, because this in particular was so good, but at the same time I prefer the nice tight storytelling that they've been doing with Kingdom so far, and I don't want them to go off path and do, you know, fall into the same trap that The Walking Dead and so many others have actually fallen into. But Kingdom Ashin of the North, guys, that was a fantastic movie. I can't wait for season 3 to come out. So be sure to post down below, let me know your thoughts are on this movie. Remember to like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you for the next one.